Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. Tekken 8 Season 2 is not too long from now. It's right around the corner. And recently we had a Tekken Talk kind of discussing aspects of Season 2, some of the changes coming, and just what's going on. Now, this is certainly everything we're going to talk about, not the totality. As we've been told many times, the patch notes list for Season 2 is going to be gigantic. But we got a little bit of a taste of what's going on, and this little bit of a taste has got some people confused and angry about the direction the game might be going in. Just as a little taste here, Tekken Legend Knee. Not all the information has come out, but Season 2 looks even more chaotic after the talk show. And of course, when there's pushback. Tekken Legend Rangchu. Complain after you play, you guys are too impatient. But people are getting up in their feelings a bit here. Like, this is a Harada post about the ongoing issues, and it's a long one, as you can see. I can't exactly fit it all on the screen in one go. And some agents of chaos are using this moment of perceived weakness for Tekken to shield the upcoming Virtua Fighter 6. Who would do that? So what exactly went on? Well, the stream started innocuously enough, sure. You know, as we do with these kind of streams, we start off with some light shilling. Gotta get the merch out there. And I know some people are like, why do they waste their time? Why do they bother? Because it works sometimes. Because they showed off there's a Tekken board game coming, and I actually kind of want to play this. So shilling, it just worked on me, actually. And we got a little peek at our latest crossover. Atelier Yumiya, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, is getting a crossover with Tekken 8. And Slime Heihachi is going over the cliff. So Koei Tecmo and Bandai Namco working together. Maybe a Dead or Alive collab 5 years down the line, who knows? But yeah, we got some footage. There was quite a bit of Anna stuff as well. This is where sorts get like tip of the iceberg. We learned that her rocket debuff makes you take chip damage from literally everything. And one of the stated mission goals of Season 2 was to make defense better, but you know, that doesn't seem to make defense better now, does it, right? Although, to be fair on the flip, they showed Power Crush heat engagers are gone. Like, across the board, apparently every character that had one, they don't got them more. So, like, as Asano was a good example. So, if you get bopped by the armored heat engager, well, there's no more heat engagers. It's still armored, still useful in that way, but you don't get the mega reward after the fact. So, there's good universal changes as well, right? But what was really causing some of the issues is not so much like character specifics. They showed off some, and once again, once the patch notes drops, apparently huge, and like 1 million changes for all the characters. The totality of that will come clear in time, I suppose. But some of the universal stuff, like you can see here, there's like notifications now on screen for like punishes, counter. I like that. I think that's really good. But what a lot of people are taking as not really good is some changes to some core mechanics that got people kind of riled up a little bit. So one of the big changes is they changed how the key charge mechanic works. So normally the traditional way of the key charge is you key charge, and then your next hit, if it connects, counts as a counter hit, right? And that is now gone. The next hit will not be a counter hit. There is a buff. The next hit will now do 50% more damage than it did before, so you are getting more damage. But like many strings and many combos rely on a counter hit to start off, right? And with you losing the counter hit property, regardless if you get more damage, now many of these setups, many of these combos are now dead, gone, and buried. This is a universal change, but of course, a problem with many, I've said so many times over the years, many universal things in fighting games don't affect characters universally, right? Some characters are going to lose out a lot harder than other characters with a change like this. And again, it sort of flies in the face of how Tekken has kind of traditionally played over the years. Now, that giant post that I showed you with Harada, right? It's all about this. And one of the things Harada does state is, come to think of it, it's actually kind of surprising that the key charge mechanic hasn't been updated until now. I'll link the long tweet in the video description if you want to read it there. But yeah, so obviously the main takeaway Harada's giving is, hey, play the game first before you complain, right? Sure. Harada's also going to war now in the comments against people, which is usually never a good idea, to be frank. But yeah, you know, people wait for the patch, play the patch, sure, but you know, people can express frustration or disappointment in the changes as they see it play out live in front of their face, right? So that's one big change, especially once again, considering how Tekken's classically played. Another big change that has people up in arms in the Season 2 patch is throw text. Now, throws, it doesn't matter if it's Tekken or whatever game it is, throws always get people salty in every fighting game. It has been since day one, right? Throws get people up in their feelings. So anything throws is always, it's going to be contentious, right? So what they're doing now with throws is throw breaks, as in you teching the throw, now makes you take damage. And that's a change. So you can see here, Jin teched the throw and he took damage. It's recoverable gray health damage, so you can get it back, but you still took damage for successfully teching a throw. And we're using King for the example here that was shown in the Tekken Talk, although it was made clear this is a universal change, it's not just King. If it was just King, it'd still be messed up. It'd be funny though, right? Because King's supposed to throw you, sure, whatever. But no, this is a universal for every character change. And just like the key charge change here, not exactly a lot of fans of this. Like me, y'all know I'm the grappler shill, right? So for me, best change in Tekken history as far as I'm concerned. Love it. Let's keep going, right? But obviously, yeah, that's not how it's going to work out for a lot of people. A lot of people are not too happy about this. Now, they didn't go too much into like the logic and the decision behind that, unfortunately. Like maybe they want you to incentivize ducking throws more. You know, maybe make it a bit more like Virtua Fighter. Like honestly, a lot of Tekken 8 changes exist to make it a bit more like Virtua Fighter. Been saying that since day one, but regardless, you know, it's not VF, right? Like in VF, if you know a throw's coming, you also have the option to just mash, and then you can't be thrown no matter what. You know, Tekken's its own thing. Regardless, though, a very different change to say the least. So if you successfully get the read, you successfully react to the throw, you saw, oh, this is the right limb, so I'm hitting the right break button, and your reward is you still took damage. Once again, certainly different. So you take these and some of the other changes that we went over in the Tekken Talk as well, like if the offense is meant to be toned down a bit, like, okay, the key charge change absolutely tones down offense a bit, sure. But then taking damage on throw techs, that doesn't seem very defensive to me. And of course, this all precludes patch notes. Maybe we get this gigantic Bible of patch notes that they're promising, and then we take in every change as it is, and then it all makes cosmic sense when you put it all together. This is the fighting game community after all, you know, we take snippets of info and then we will lose our minds over it. And that's the way it's always going to be. Like, we are not changing on that front. Like, let's get real about that. But Tekken 8 Season 2 is going to be a very, very big deal. And we get a little snapshot, a small piece of the greater picture. And it is confusing some people. Personally, I think getting that greater look at what the actual full patch is going to be, and with all the character-specific changes in mind, probably will allay most of the fears of the game. But you certainly can't blame anyone who's very invested in the game that their emotions will rise up a bit when they see something they don't like out of the gate. Especially when the changes are fairly big, universal deals. That said, I hope nothing but the best for the big Tekken 8 patch. I hope Season 2 makes it the best Tekken it can be and move the game forward. Fighting games specifically, kind of never start at their best point at the vanilla launch. It's always a work forward in progress, right? And usually the more time goes by, the game gets better. Like, look at Street Fighter V, right? Game did not start great, and by the end of the game's life, hey, it was actually kind of damn good. Although I guess devil's advocate, Street Fighter 4, right? Like, vanilla, whatever. Super Street Fighter 4, awesome. Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, huge step backwards. Like, Arcade Edition, despite being a later edition of the game, was a massive step back and a worse version of Street Fighter 4 than Super was. But you know what, Tekken 8, they got all unlocked. They'll figure it out. I'm not too worried. So that's the news for the moment. I figured this was kind of newsworthy because it is pretty big changes to the game coming up. And once again, the Season 2 patch with Anna, not too long from now. So let me know what you think. Is this killing Tekken? Or is Tekken going to be saved forever? Or what's going on? What are your thoughts on the matter? Post in the comments below. But that all said, my friends, that's the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Tekken.